Greetings to all you, our beautiful listeners and viewers. We are so excited as the Empowerment Podcast that we're bringing you what is relevant to our country at the moment. It is the 16 days of GBV, and we're talking to our psychologist because last week you heard our interview with Tenjiwe, who was speaking about her story and her journey. So today we thought, let us call a person that is the other side that can help us deal with such things. So with me today, I've got Mzamo Zondi. Mzamo, welcome back to the Empowerment Podcast. No, that is not your first time. Your episode is being listened again since you came when it was mental health. So I know that you are good on mental health. Can you please just briefly greet our viewers and our listeners?
Let's say good day, because they might be watching in the morning, evening, all right. So good day, viewers and listeners. I'm happy to be back again in this very powerful podcast. Yes, thank you.
Right. Okay, Mzamo, in your words, what is gender-based violence and why is it so rooted in our community?
Okay. Obviously, such concepts are very concept and not so easy to define and all of that. But in simple terms, I will describe it as a behavior or acts that are meant to control or harm. Yes, usually people that are of the opposite gender or similar gender, but in that context, yes. But the key words for me will be behaviors and acts that are meant to harm or control the other party.
Yes. The other party, and mostly it's women and children.
Yes. Right. In terms of the second part of your question, even though one is not necessarily currently registered as a psychologist, but one is in that journey, but as one is an intern psychologist and recorded working in that format, but the people that I happen to work with, I like this idea of the holistic approach, where we do not only focus only on one aspect of the life of a person, but we try to look at the holistic approach side of things. So in that regard, usually my 4 elements would be spiritual, biological, psychological, and social. But maybe in this topic, maybe we cannot talk too much about the biological side of things, but we can talk about the causes, some of them stemming from the spiritual side of things, some from how people think, psychological side of things, and from the socialization part, how we are socialized, right? Where I think most of it stems from that. I think we're all familiar with the concept that we are relational beings.
Yes.
And we tend to take our cues from people around us. Yes, from our early childhood, continuing to our adulthood, we tend to take cues from people around us. So if we are constantly from childhood exposed to gender-based violence, we can tend to assimilate as one of the normal things, and then we can easily just take it as a norm and then do it to our partners when we are grown. Yes, and it could be one of the potential causes. If you look at the spiritual side of things, there are quite a few things we can talk about there. But for now, what I would like to just pinpoint to is the part where sometimes our spirituality is more on the passive side of things, not on the active side of things, where we just my husband or my boyfriend is possessed by demons, which let's pray for him. Yes, there's nothing wrong with praying for the person, but if it ends there, and we don't do anything about it, it becomes a problem, and it perpetuates such violence. And many other beliefs, cultural beliefs, linking to religion and other things, where, yes, the concepts like a man has to be masculine and aggressive and tough. Yeah, that's a picture of a man. And if you are a man who is empathic and soft and gentle, no, there's something wrong with your masculinity. You must do something to try and correct you. So such beliefs, such thoughts, I see them as most causes to gender-based violence, and as factors that are perpetuating it as it continues to be a problem for our community. Let me stop there for now.
Okay, what advice would you give to a woman at home who is a victim of gender-based violence? What would you say to that woman? Where can that woman start? Where can they get the support? Because I know that most women don't want their family and their friends to know. Sometimes women act as if their relationship is perfect because they don't want to expose their partner.
Yes. Yeah. Before really coming to your question, exactly, that speaks to these things that I'm talking about. Because you are suffering, but you are afraid that, what will people say about my marriage, or especially in our religious context, what will people say about my husband, maybe because he's a pastor or he's a respected man in the church, so let me keep it down. So I think the first point is for somebody to speak out. And that's the first part, where somebody really starts to speak out. It is not something that is easy, because it's not always easy to find somebody who is trustworthy and somebody who will treat your matter in the way that it deserves to be treated, and somebody who will not take sides. Because you'll find some people, when you open up to them, they'll say, but what did you do, Nompilo, for your husband to treat you like that?
Exactly.
And, yes. So it's not always easy, but we encourage people to try and find objective people who will not take sides, people who will listen to you, and then take the matter forward. But beyond those people around us that we trust, yes, we have professionals like social workers. Yes, again, in our spiritual context, we have some pastors that are trustworthy that we can talk to. But if you talk to them and they just, oh no, let's pray. No, move on. Find somebody else who will say, let's act on it. Find somebody else who will say, let's act on it. Right. Beyond those people around you that you can trust, but there are organizations out there that are specifically focusing on such issues. Maybe let me just name a few for our viewers and listeners. In SA, we have a national GBV helpline.
Okay.
National GBV helpline. It's 0800 150 150. 0800 150 150. Right. So I think it's a 24-hour line. You can call them, and they can also help you in the process of helping you to really get the support you need. Because, like we said earlier, Nompilo, that it's a very complex subject.
It is
very complex.
Yeah.
It's a very complex subject, and the support that the survivors need will differ. Because someone will need to move from that home, and then when you say move out of that home, where are you going to take that person? So you need a proper structure where that person will go. Somebody will need to. There might be different things that a person will need to do as part of breaking out of that cycle, but you need to be able to have structures in place to help those people. And beyond that, we even have your legal aid, where they also assist, because sometimes it can get into that realm as well, where law has to be involved. because really being abused physically or sexually and otherwise, and really the law must take its course in such cases. And
but Mzamo, what do you think of emotional abuse? Because some people don't hit you and they don't do anything to you sexually, but they just emotionally abuse you. How do you think that should be dealt with?
It's a very good question, Nopil, a very good one. Because I think you mentioned before we started the recording, before that, when we think about GBV, we usually think about the physical part and the sexual part.
Yeah.
But actually, there are more forms of abuse.
Yes.
GBV. Yes, you find the emotional one, which could also come across as a psychological one, where your value and your worth as a person is really undermined. You are an adult who is fully grown, but you are treated as a child by your partner or whoever. You are gaslighted. It's a common term that we use in our spaces. But basically, it's when you try and communicate with your partner that my partner, I'm not happy with 1, 2, and 3, but instead of the partner addressing what you are bringing, they will tell the whole thing to be about you.
Sure.
No, Pilo, you're coming here complaining about how I'm treating you, but I'm treating you because you deserve to be treated like that. Remember, you did it. Remember, you did that. You remember you did that. And you'll end up apologizing. Whereas you are the one who came wanting to address a specific issue, but the person will twist the whole thing and make you believe, oh, okay, I'm sorry, Baba. I didn't mean to. No, I won't do it again. But
I've heard so many stories like that. Exactly. I've heard so many stories like that. And people end up saying their partners are like psychos. They act nicely on the outside with everybody, but when they're at home, they change the thing. They're not the nice people that they are in the outside. And it's actually bad. But I think people like yourselves, psychologists, are the ones who can listen to women and maybe advise on how to deal with such. Because we cannot continue acting as if everything is fine if everything is not fine. Because I believe that's also gender-based violence, that you treating me as if I'm not human. You're not seeing me for who I am. When I raise something up, you think you should turn it around so that I can seem like a bad person. But it's something that people never think about. But let's continue, Mzamo.
Yeah. Right. or maybe the last one before we continue, not because of time. The last one. Sometimes even the financial abuse. People really suffer where you are you are our star, but in business. So, and you are working, but you find that your partner will want to control everything about your money. Control everything about your money. Yes, there should be negotiation about money matters in the family background, but this time around, that they will control you in terms of your finances, everything. And you are working, but how no below you are working, but why are you struggling like this? No. My husband takes all the money, or my husband decides everything about our money. That's another form of gender-based violence.
I actually know of a couple, Mzamo, that the wife used to not get a cent from her income. The husband used to go to the school and he would be given the wife's salary. When I heard that story, my sister was telling me, I was like, wow, it's such abuse that another person can earn another person's money when they haven't worked for it, just because they are the husband. In this case, the husband was the chief. So even the school principal wouldn't say no to his wife's salary.
Yes. And those are all the form of gender-based violence that our people face, and we really need to speak out against even those forms of abuse.
What do you say are the red flags that a woman should look out for in the early stages of dating? That this guy has got some GBV vibes. I must run away.
I like the question because we are social beings and we want to have partners. Yes,
we want to belong.
Exactly.
We want to post on social media, Mzamo.
Yes, that's your vacation and all of that.
Exactly.
Right. Yes, but usually the first initial steps that you will notice, the person will come across as a person who is very attentive. A person who's very attentive, a person who wants to know where you are, what you are doing, who you are with, and the person says, no, I'm asking because I love you.
And you actually believe it, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm doing this because I care about you. Your safety is important to me.
Yeah.
And if you happen to do something or go somewhere without informing the person, you are in for it.
Exactly.
You are in for it. Those constant checkups, yes, controlling you, where you go, what you do, and this excessive jealousy. No, Nompilo, you can't be talking with men. Remember, you are a married woman. You are my wife. How does, you are my partner, you are my boyfriend, you are my girlfriend. How does that make me look when you are constantly speaking to guys? No, these are my colleagues. No, even if it's your colleagues, why can't you just speak to colleagues that are only females? Those excessive jealousy. And again, I'm saying this because I love you. You are my woman. And the normal one is this issue of temper, like I said earlier. If you happen to step out of these confines that he has created for you, he will really be angry with you. Those are normal good signs. I'm in trouble. I must really move away. And maybe another one before I forget, where they try to limit your world, limit your friends, limit your contact with your family, and try to make you belong to them and only them. Be careful.
Yes.
Be careful.
And another one that I can think of is they direct you in terms of what to wear. Like, no, that's too tight. You don't look nice. The people are going to look at you if you're wearing like this and like that. And that's really abnormal. But now we want to be the solution. So how can we raise a generation of young boys? I'm a mom of boys, so I'm always looking for solutions of how boys can be better, how a future generation can be better at respecting women, at respecting and actually not doing what the other males are actually doing. What do you think can be the solution that we can do as parents so that kids don't get to do that in the future?
Yes, that's a very, very important question. Maybe my response will be in twofold. The first one will be kids, they are very good at mimicking behavior. Behavior that they see in their environment, how their parents relate to one another. Yes, I understand that because of different issues, yes, maybe some of us may not be raising our children together with our spouses. But those who are fortunate enough to be in that space where they are raising their children with their spouses, I would really urge them to try and model a relationship before they are boys, where the father is treating the mother like a queen, and all of that. And then they see this beautiful thing where they see their father loving their mother and treating their mother like a queen, not just speaking to her like anyhow and not doing anything that it might be termed or deemed harmful towards the mother. Right, that's the first part. the modeling part by the parents and the caregivers who will be in the presence of the child, right? Number two, our language, the language we use with our children, it should be a language that is balanced. The language that is balanced, that is not biased or skewed, where we treat them differently. I have a son has the right to be aggressive, a son has the right to be all these toxic masculinity traits, and my girl, I'm treating her like a princess and I want her to be like a princess. But striking that balance that yes, you are a young man, yes, you are strong, yes, I want you to be a protector of your sisters or younger brothers, but do with empathy. Don't be rough, man. It's okay to be gentle, and from time to time it's okay for you as a boy to express your emotions. If you need to cry.
Definitely. That's very important.
You are not a sissy. You are not a sissy for expressing your emotions. It's okay to express your emotions, but really trying to balance those cultural values and even sometimes religious values where it's okay for a man to be just strong, aggressive, and all of that. And if a man has a sensitive side, no, there's nothing to question his sexuality or anything like that. But trying to just bring that balance. Yes.
Oh, wow. Mzamo, we thank you so much for those wise advices that you've shared with us today. I'll ask our viewers and our listeners to actually just give us more and more questions for you, because I know that you're someone that always wants to help out and you don't want men to keep quiet. They must cry if they need to, and they must learn and they must empower themselves and not do bad unto women. So thank you so much for being part of our show today. Have a Merry Christmas with your family and a Happy New Year to you. Thank you for your contribution to the Empowerment Podcast.
Thank you so much, and good night.
It was good day when we started, now it's good night. Okay, to our listeners. Yes, to our listeners, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's been lovely interacting with you. Continue to follow us on all our social media platforms and like our content and share it with our friends. From me, the Powerhouse, bye. See you in the new year.
Empowerment Podcast. Inspire, equip, and empower.